Thanks again for joining me on our Who Are Environmental Health Officers video series. Today, I'm speaking with David, a civil and Army reservist environmental health officer in South Australia. David, how long have you been an environmental health officer?
I've been an EHO here for 14 years, and some people go, oh my God, why have you been there for 14 years? Don't you want change? And I said, well, I work in a rural council, and change is something that happens every single day. I joined the Army Reserves 2 years after working as a civilian EHO. Best thing I ever did. The Army Environment Health gives you another set of conditions which to work under. Really exciting. I don't think it's every day as an EHO where you can carry a thermometer in one hand, a non-automatic weapon on the other shoulder, and then doing your job. So it's a very excellent job, I must admit.
Where are you working and what's your role?
I work in Light Regional Council. Now, Light Regional Council is in the Barossa Valley, South Australia. I'm the only environmental health officer here. I work with two general inspectors, and we tag team a lot of fire safety stuff. I'm also a fire safety officer as well. So I cover a vast spectrum, not just environmental health.
What's one of your proudest moments?
I think the recent one was actually on Kangaroo Island with the Defence Force. We were out there, the fires were still going, it was extremely difficult and challenging. We're working with community members, and we had water bombers still going overhead. It was just really awful environment. And myself and my colleague went out to a property near a place called Stokes Bay. We wanted to make sure all the restaurants had done the right things and water supplies were all good. And we saw this farm on the hill. We went up there. This couple, they had fought off the bushfire the day before. They saved their home. Everything around it completely destroyed, just black as far as you can see. Everything was still smoking, and we were there to help them. And we just gave them some advice, and even the rainwater tanks were contaminated with the soot, and they made us a cup of tea and found an old packet of biscuits, and they just wanted to talk to us and thanked us for coming out. You know, we gave them chlorine, and we organised some Army engineers to come out and help them on some electrical work with generators, and they were so thankful because they've almost lost everything, and I thought, I still get a bit choked up, and I felt really proud to be part of that effort to all the emergency services to be able to help people who lost everything, and they just made us a cup of tea, and I thought, oh, that's really good. So that was a proud moment.
Describe a typical week.
I do everything from wastewater assessments, so heaps of winery wastewater, domestic wastewater, the typical food premise inspections, cooling towers. I inspect all the cooling towers in the area. I do your typical environmental complaints as well, contaminated land, soil, air quality, noise issues. I'm also a fire safety officer as well, so we come summertime to do fire safety inspections, and that's something I wanted to do. And occasionally I tag with the general inspectors as well as some of their daily tasks.
Have you been involved in any other big projects?
One of the best projects I did was recently, again when I was with the Army in the Northern Territory. We were the Army's top hazard assessment team, so we were out 2 weeks in training areas doing an entire health risk assessment, water quality, soil quality, air quality, dangerous plants, edible plants. All that information had to be collated together, produce a report, so when people went out on site, they knew all the potential hazards were. So we were camping out in the field, being aware of crocodiles, and had all the latest possible equipment to do the soil testing on site. That was really great experience. I'm really thankful again for actually being involved.
Were you always attracted to the profession?
No. I was, and I suppose I still am, a chef for 20 years. One day we had a really particularly busy lunch in the kitchen, and there was stuff everywhere. And the local environmental health officer came in, doing her job, investigating food poisoning complaint, and started giving us a hard time. But we still had dockets everywhere. It was demanding my time. And I thought she was being unreasonable. So I thought to myself, I can do that job better. And I thought, okay, what do I need to do to become an EHO? And then 5 years later, I finished university. But it was a bit of a journey to get there. So I got inspired by an inspection in the middle of a very busy lunch service as a chef.
How would you describe environmental health to someone who doesn't know what it is?
I think all our role as regulatory officers maintaining good public health, like the crucial basics, water and food safety. But In my view, environmental health is about protecting the environment, or particularly the natural environment. Essentially, having a healthy environment equals happy lives for everybody. So protecting the environment.
What are some challenges you face in your role?
I think the biggest challenges, I would say, are environmental complaints. They take a lot of effort to resolve. You have to be extremely careful in your documentation. Every single conversation is documented. We all carry little cameras now on our lapels. We don't always use them. So going through all those processes to do a very good investigation is very challenging.
What do you love most about being an environmental health officer?
I like that it's different. I like getting the opportunity to speak to people and to solve their problems. And I love the diversity.
What's something that you know now that you wish you had have known at the beginning of your career?
Really, really simple thing, communication and body skills. If I knew how to speak to people then and what I know now, I could have made it would have been a lot easier for me and made a bit of a difference to people. I think we all learn as we go along, and we had a very good general inspector, and I went out with him a lot. He was so calm, so passive, and he kept on teaching me, he goes, Dave, it's all about the body language. You need to read people, you need to understand their situation. And he did tell me one time, he goes, whatever you do, don't tell people to calm down, they want to beat you up.
What advice would you give to an environmental health officer early in their career?
I would say to people, don't accept no as an answer when you want to do something. We need to push the boundaries. I think that moving forward, particularly with the way the climate's been affected, I think the frequency of our natural disasters, if you will, is going to increase. So we as environmental health officers, we need to be trained for that and be able to respond to that. We need to understand the demographics of that area. Is there a large Greek population or Italian population or whatever? Are there going to be language requirements and information we hand out? So we have to continue to update our information.
Thank you, David, for sharing your role as an environmental health officer.
I love what I do, and I think environmental health is a fantastic field, and it only becomes boring when we allow it to become boring. I think it's really important to promote our trade, our profession, wherever we can. That we are an integral part of a wider team. Our protection of the environment and public health is really critical. And I think as environmental health officers, we can't be reactive, we have to be proactive in everything that we do. Thanks, Samantha. I really appreciate the opportunity to give my little bit about environmental health, and I think we all make a difference. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
To see more videos in the Who Are Environmental Health Officers video series, subscribe to the EHA YouTube channel by clicking below. Also, this month, we will be releasing a special edition to celebrate World Environmental Health Day on the 26th of September. I'll see you then.